Assalamu alaikum. Today at Career Talks, we are joined by an inspiring leader, a dynamic force from the world of marketing, communication, and public relations, currently serving at Avari Towers and Beach Luxury Hotel. Known to be one of the most leading and distinguished names in hospitality. With a wealth of experience and her rich portfolio is spanning from luxury hospitality to digital media. She is celebrated for crafting compelling campaigns and also primarily bridging marketing strategy with creativity. She has also led very transformative brand campaigns. Throughout her journey, she has consistently and rather passionately combined strategic thinking with creative storytelling, one that inspires connection and leaves behind an impact that is backed by meaningful engagement. Whether she is busy navigating the fast paced market dynamics, or she is branding and revamping a brand's initiative, it's very important for us to understand that my today's guest has not only relied on her expertise, but what brings her here is the faith and belief she had in marketing with purpose for her people and having a promising impact towards society. I hope that with today's Career Talks, you're able to have valuable insights into her experience and particularly the marketing aspirants, those who are enthusiastic towards the field of entrepreneurship, will be able to make the most of today's conversation. Please welcome the marketing and PR head of Avari Tower and Beach Luxury Hotel, Ms. Zuha Hussain, with us. Assalamu alaikum, Zuha.
Wa alaikum salam, Adeela.
Thank you so much for taking out time. It has been a pleasure to have you over at Career Talks. One of my primary concerns was helping my audience, which is having predominantly business students and business aspirants. These students are also keen to become entrepreneurs in the future, to understand the primary distinction between hospitality sector from the other sectors in the market that we have. And being a marketing lead of Avari Towers and Beach Luxury Hotel, how do you ensure that these brands have their visibility intact in a very competitive market of Karachi?
So when it comes to marketing, other segments are very different because there we are selling products. But when it comes to hospitality, I think we are selling experiences. People get married there are birthday parties, there are corporate events. So what we do to stay intact with the market, to read the audience, what they are looking for.
Okay.
So one of these examples these days, people are loving putting on reels, trying sushi. And Sushi Fujiyama, one of our restaurants, is very expensive. And having observed the craving of people to try sushis, we come up with a promotion, having business lunch that would cost you only 3499 plus taxes.
Yeah.
And so what we do, we stay ahead the market by reading our audiences, what they are looking for, and accordingly push some campaign and promotion into the market.
Okay. So it has been a journey where how do you manage these two flavors are different when it comes to Beach Luxury and Avari Towers? How does you are currently, if I'm not mistaken, two very prominent names in the same industry.
Of course.
So how does the ethos or the marketing perspective differs when it comes to, and how do you play your bit when it comes to the public relations, being a public relation face for both ends?
Okay, when it comes to Avari Towers, since it's a 5-star hotel, we look forward, since it's more of a luxurious place, so people are looking for high-end services. But when it comes to beach luxury, they are mostly in love with the ambience, being by the sea. So if we give you the example, people dining there in beach luxury, so they are there for the boat rides that we are there, and they prefer beach luxury for winters. So it's more for the ambience,
Okay.
and it has a very rich history because it's there since 1948, and we have not revamped that. Our owners, they want to retain the history, the rich history, the culture, even the board by the entrance in Lalazar. It's since 1948. We have not revamped it.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
that's the cultural
That's-
history. But
yes.
when it comes to Avari Towers, we are more with the renovations, staying ahead in the market to bring the changes. So our clientele is very different. And
Okay.
for, yeah, exactly. So beach luxury, it's more like when you want to feel at home, people are coming more for vacations, for staycations, so they can have their me time. And Avari Towers is more of a corporate things. The very bold thing that is highlighted, not only corporate, even when the weddings are there. So it's very highlighted because you want to showcase that elite rich culture there.
So when it comes to, I think one of your major functions and expertise, I would say, is that you are a very prolific storyteller,
Yes.
right? So for all the marketing students, for all the graduates, please expand a little on that element of linking creativity and infusing that creativity into your storytelling. How do you combine it? How to make a compelling story that actually grapples the audience, and how big of a role does that storytelling plays in building that brand for both the brands that you're associated with?
So when it comes to storytelling, I always put myself across the channel.
Okay.
If I was at the receiver's end,
Right.
what are my emotions? Where do I stand? What I need to hear? What I need to receive? So you have to be very honest with that.
Right.
This is one of the key elements.
Right.
Otherwise, your storytelling, your campaign is not gonna last for long.
Right.
And once you're honest, you start it with your emotions. Don't try to commercialize it.
Okay.
Play with your emotions, play with the experiences around you, and just go with the flow. What I do, I just put my emotions there, and then later I rephrase them and I put it across the social media. And I have always seen it grasp more attention, there is more impressions, there are more engagements.
Okay.
And because when you give a personal touch to a service or to a product, there are more concerns, there are more conversations that arises, and it boosts not only the engagement, but it creates the long lasting impression in the market.
I think this is a very good point, to keep the emotions and the sentiments intact when it comes to storytelling, particularly when it comes to the public relations element.
Exactly. Emotional intelligence is very important
It's
these
very
days.
important, even but particularly in the hospitality sector.
Of course.
Because you're dealing with people, there's a lot of service involved. It's very services orientated and
And
rich.
this hospitality is what we learn back at our home.
Yes,
When we
yes,
have
certainly.
have our guests come, especially back in the times that dada dadis, they're like mehman hai, बहुत सारी चीजें, and we would always say, like Nanu, सब कुछ उठा के सामने रख देना, relax. But that's what their
Yes.
hospitality was,
Yes.
and that now we have to put across our services, our platforms, different segments, and that's I would say a rebranded image of hospitality.
They say that, through hospitality, you're not selling a product, but you're basically selling an experience. So you have to welcome
emotions.
them to an experience, and you have to keep any particular, because you must have dealt with a lot of, I'm certain, a lot of campaigns when it comes to brand building. Any particular project or any particular brand campaign that went successful, that went through a good share of challenges, and turned out to be something that became one of your top leading achievements so far?
See, for me, I will come out of a hospitality here.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
just highlight Vela Professionals.
Okay.
And we used to give out PR products every month. And along with that, we started a campaign. We were giving out PR services. And we would give the entire hair transformation. And By that time, we would do that every month. And after 2 to 3 years, when I meet the same people, so I have seen the longevity that we left after that campaign, that those people are very particular with that brand, and they still reach out to me to go back for the same brand with the same hairstylist, the transformation, because our hair, these are very personal. We are very particular about them. And when you create a sense of like we could rely on
Yes,
some brands
certainly.
because
There's a
hair.
trust, level of trust
Exactly.
that is built.
And that we gained it. And later, after years, when I see them, even there is one more product, Hydro Flask. It's an international insulated water bottle.
Right.
And it's in competition with Stanley. And it stands number 2 worldwide.
Right.
So I would send out those Hydro Flask insulated water bottle, and we would resell it with the tagline that it keeps the water cold for 24 hours
Right.
and hot for 12 hours.
Right.
And today, when I meet those people, they're still holding the same Hydro Flask bottles. And then when they introduce me to their friends, they're like, this bottle, I received it from Zuha and it's very good. And I bought multiple, few more bottles from her for my family. So the long lasting effect that you see is after years. And when those people stay with the same brands, and that's then you realize that your PR campaign was successful.
So, was there anything particularly different that you did in this in this campaign when it comes to Wella professionals?
Well, a professional, I would say we also gave them training, the learning, the awareness, how it is different from other products.
Right.
We gave some experiments. We kept L'Oreal professionals, and we kept Schwarzkopf, and we did the mixing.
Okay.
And they were in a steel ball. And the
Right.
heating up process was there in both the balls, but not in Vela professionals. So that was one of the points. So you have to create the brand awareness. So they were aware, they saw it first-hand information, and they definitely
And
relied
this
on
was
us.
happening with a live audience?
Yes, it was. We would give out Vela training sessions every once a week. And there we would call our influencers as well to learn, because they would be receiving the same services from us later.
That's excellent. And I think apart from just the strategy, there is a very marketing orientated, marketing centric mindset and approach that works behind it. And for a lot of my business students, I would like you to expand a little on the basic or fundamental, like being a marketing student, looking forward to stepping into the market with the leading brands. What are the fundamental competencies and skill set that they should start working on developing from right now onwards when they are, you know, just dealing with apparently the academics. So when there is an academic pressure, there's also a pressure to sustain yourself as a professional, because right after a year or 2 years, they will be stepping into the market. And even from today onwards, my responsibility as their careers head is to introduce them to the market from the very first year onwards as interns.
Of course.
So, in order for them to gain this understanding, and right after graduation, step in with the leading brands, what skills they should start developing from today onwards?
I would suggest one very important skill, that is being observant. You should be very smart
That's a
enough
very
to
good point.
read your audience,
Right.
what they are looking for, where they are coming from, and what they want to listen. And then accordingly, then you narrate a story and communicate to them. And if you're good with that, you have got it.
So, is there any, sort of a distinction that students can create with their personal branding? And do you think personal branding, like
It's
as
very
Zuha Hussain, do you think that your personal branding plays a role?
Very important. See, as I mentioned that I was reached out by Avari Towers, even my other companies, it was because of my platforms, especially my presence on LinkedIn. I am creating my own brand. Even I get very challenging comments on them. You're putting your picture, are you selling out yourself? I just tell them, if I cannot promote myself, how a company is gonna trust me by building their brand image? So first you have to do your own brand building,
Sure.
and especially being in marketing and PR,
Yes, it's
you
very
have
essential.
to create a presence. So start working on their official handles, because how you gonna grow a brand? You can reflect the same on your personal brand. That's you.
Absolutely. I personally feel that it's very important for students to also learn how to sell themselves of and this audience, which is a fresher audience, which is a
Gen Z.
audience which is the Gen Z audience, which is studying at the moment, which is trying to get there and tap their hands and feet into ensuring that they polish their craft in the best way, they introduce the best version in the market. What do you think would be your advice? Because you have also moved from sector to sector, and you have tasted the flavor of being a finance professional, being an auditor, then moved into, the skincare and then now hospitality. What advice would you give them to introduce themselves in the best way possible in front of different employers? Do they have, as marketeers, should their strategy be a little different from any other professional during their formal interviews in the market?
I guess being a marketer, you need to have your presence not only on social media but among your PR. You need to create contacts, start connecting with new people, start collaborating.
Networking plays a role.
Interbrand collaborations are very important. So try to reach out to different organizations. So if there are 100 brands in the market, make sure you have your connection in 50 to 60%. See, we are in the time that it's about who you know. So when it comes to PR and marketing, you have contacts and you know the right person when to approach them. You have got it.
Yeah, because a lot of our students are very enthusiastic to tap into, multifaceted sectors. And with hospitality, it opens up a lot of trenches, for you to expand on as an individual, as a professional. How would you look at academia, like the education sector, and bridging this gap with the hospitality sector or industry at large? This bridging of expertise, this barter of expertise and resources, how essential do you think do you think it's important for us to nurture the generation next in areas where actually you would play a huge role as a professional? How important do you think bridging up these two sectors is important for the generation which is going to come up
See,
next?
Adeela, it's very important. And to bridge that gap, I would suggest that you should always be open to learning.
Yeah.
See, me coming from a background of finance, I don't have those academic experiences that other people
People
have.
must be
And
having, yeah.
during the meetings, there are so many jargons I'm not aware of. So I don't shy away. I
Yes.
ask them right away. So be always open to learning.
Okay.
And when it comes to marketing, you have to be very much. You should read the algorithms when it comes to your social media handles, your LinkedIn.
What is
They
working,
keep
what is not working?
exactly, and especially LinkedIn, the algorithms keep on changing very quickly.
Okay.
So you have to stay aware ahead of market and make sure you know about the apps that are trending, like AI. Start using the new applications, the softwares that are trending. So you stay ahead and you stand out with other people.
So, coming towards LinkedIn, because this is what I coach them also, through professional communication and professional profiling, whether it comes to their cover letters, whether it comes to their resume building, whether it comes to their formal interviews. Coming towards LinkedIn and the impact it has, and considering that you landed with this job of yours, current, which is a leading position in marketing, through LinkedIn, what advice would you give to the young professionals on how to start navigating LinkedIn as their first avenue?
I would tell them first start sending connection requests. Don't shy away.
Okay.
If you get it rejected, it's okay. Even at this point, I always reach out to the industry leaders that I'm aspired of. So start doing that and be very active. At least make a post per week. So you start because you get 4 times more impression if you start doing that. And make in mind the timings. LinkedIn's, you should not make any post in the weekends because it's a professional place. So everybody's active during the business hours.
Right.
And but at the same time, despite saying it's a professional place, when you do your storytelling, always leave a personalized touch.
Okay.
So people can relate to you.
Hmm.
So that's my advice for them.
And should they post very frequently? How
No.
frequently are they supposed to post content?
At least once a week,
Okay.
maximum 3, I would say.
Okay.
Let impressions get multiplied.
Okay.
If you constantly post, you're gonna compromise with your impression.
So
And even if you have to post 2 posts per day, at least make sure there is a 3-hour difference. And I would say those who are active on LinkedIn, read your own impressions, read the insights. You're gonna learn from them a lot. Like in Ramadan, what topics were trending on LinkedIn?
Right.
Those were iftar events. Were connects. So just read through your own post and understand the timings that your audience is active, more engaging. And when you're gonna post something on LinkedIn, make sure half hour before you're active and half hour later. That's the crucial time, 1 hour, and it's gonna multiply your impressions.
excellent. So you are advising these students and young professionals or marketing graduates to have at least a 3 days active content coming up per week.
Yeah.
So-
or even once.
even one
at
would
least
do.
once per week.
Once per week. So there has to be like a different content.
If you want to multiply your
impressions and create a brand image of your own.
Of course.
And then obviously then the market automatically starts
Because
being,
those
aesthetically
people
captivating.
who post once a week or 3 times a week, they are seen multiplied by 4. So
Oh,
there are
really?
more chances you'll be appearing on the upper tier when someone is reaching out to people for jobs or for projects. So you will appear more.
More actively, okay, because
Exactly.
you're the person who's active with content
Yes.
on LinkedIn, yeah. And then the same goes with other platforms, but particularly when it comes to LinkedIn. Being the vocationally platform. So I think this is a very good advice that at least keep yourself consistent throughout weeks
course.
when it comes to good content. Being the head of careers, it comes as a responsibility on my shoulders to introduce these students and bring the market to them and introduce them to the market. Are places like Avari Towers, Beach Luxury, in fields and in domains of marketing, human resource, finance, are open to and looking into collaborating with the educational sector for prolific human resources? Are they doing enough in areas of mentorship or training these students in order to grapple the right kind of a relevant human resource for them? Are there certain internship opportunities that are given? And if they do have, how is that structured?
Okay, so right now we have internship, we have collaboration with Kotham and Pitham. These
Okay.
are the universities, the colleges that prepare students for hospitality. But for other organizations, we are open. We can always discuss and find out a way from where we can carry out the internships for students. So we are open to it.
Is there any structured program or is there any particular platform at the moment where students can
We-
apply or
For culinary, we have right now,
Okay.
but other areas, as per the request, we make room for it.
And when it comes to coaching in certain areas, will you be open to kind of like come and collaborate in the near future for certain collaborations when it comes to, because I would love to have you over
I would
for the
love to
students.
even come here. And even at Avari Towers, we have a separate learning and development department
Right.
where we teach you how do you have to walk when if you are pouring a water. So you
that's
have to
excellent.
make sure it doesn't spill. Then there is a movement that you have to play with the bottle. So those small techniques are taught there.
Yeah.
So we are open to it and let's do it.
Excellent, excellent. So there's a certain level of, I think there's going to be a shift of perspective
Of course.
from sector to sector. Like when you were in the finance sector, your approach and perspective must be
Even
different.
my attire, wearing
Everything was,
jeans,
you
going
know,
very casual.
the entire
Now you
demeanor
cannot
shifts.
go casual. You have to be very properly dressed up with a coat, professionally. So yeah, it's very different.
Post-COVID, Zuha, things switched in almost
Yes.
every sector. Have there been any pre and post? Now, speaking to you as a marketer purely. So, the pre-COVID era and the post, have you seen any variations in marketing strategies which are very vividly observed or executed by you as a marketer? And what would your suggestion be? Like, the, this strategy needs to be maintained in order for us to keep up with the times, whether these are the because of the technological advancements right after COVID or otherwise. How has marketing as a whole evolved after COVID?
See, marketing after COVID is completely digital. We don't go for the print media anymore. There are no such impressions. So I would say we need to evolve our strategies. And after COVID, if we see our e-commerce platforms has evolved and our marketing. Like we have paid more attention towards influencer marketing and e-commerce collaboration, so I would say it's now completely a more digital platform,
Right.
and our strategies are 90% digital. So that was the major shift post and pre-COVID.
And when it comes to understanding the trends of the market, like you being a marketer, how much do you invest in marketing research? And if somebody needs to study the market, what are the tools available? That what do you do? What is your
Okay.
strategy? How do you study the market? For anybody, for any marketer to understand the rhythm of the market, to understand how a market is shaped, to understand the forces of demand and supply, what do you do? What is your strategy?
For me to stay ahead, what I do, there are courses on LinkedIn. I make sure I take 2 courses per week.
Oh,
And
okay.
I do them. They are very free.
Right.
I have just got the premium LinkedIn. So you can have access to them. They have got an amazing material. So you are aware of the algorithm that's happening, the trending softwares, the trending applications that you could always do. And other than that, I missed it. I'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the question?
The question was the how it has like what do you do in order to study the market?
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you see the ads, there you have to put some money. When if you are good with SEO, despite being there with SEO, you experiment with different SEOs with different segments of audience.
Right.
So the ads are even very cheap these days.
Okay.
It's we can start minimum with 700 rupees per day. That would give us impression of 3,000 to 5,000 people per day, and the click that would start from 10 rupees per click, and if it works well, it could minimize to 3 rupees. So you have to see the resources that you have. If you have the enough finances, go for them. And if you don't have that, there are always free courses. So always avail them. And when there are any conferences, stay informed about them and attend them. You're gonna learn a lot of knowledge from there. So just be very available for collaboration, the interdepartmental communications, and the events that are happening
Right.
in the market. Like
Right.
one of the marketing group that is there on WhatsApp, Brand and Media Learning Hub. All the marketeers from different segments are there, and if we have any of the query, we just drop a WhatsApp message there, and you get the help from there. So we are there helping each other to try to search for such communities, such places
Yeah.
where you can evolve, learn, and stay connected with the marketeers. So you are always learning
No,
through
that's a
them.
very good suggestion. I think from a marketing viewpoint, it's very important for them to penetrate and delve into the market, and that is the only way to understand the
Of
the
course.
rhythm. You know.
You need the right hand
Yes,
information.
you need the right hand information, and you can only do that. And I think not just for any marketer, for marketer, obviously, it's the need is more to constantly reinvent yourself.
Yes. Being open to that.
Being open to that. You have to, otherwise, you will go obsolete very soon. During your academic years, and now a lot of audience which will be listening to us will be during their academic years, doing their business management courses, thinking of becoming and leaving an impact into the market as a marketer, either through as a professional or as an entrepreneur. There are a lot of students who wish to introduce their own services and brands to the market, so they're looking from that angle also. So any challenge that you faced during your early academic or professional years, And how did you combat that challenge?
Um, if I think I was a very active student, and I was I was a bright student, but not a position holder. I
Right.
always kept my academic and other co-curricular activities hand by hand. So I don't I don't remember any such challenge. But yeah,
Okay.
one of the challenge professionally that was for me, I was very soft spoken. So people took it like I was scared. I was not confident.
Mm.
And unless I showed it through the implementing strategies and getting the impressions on the campaign,
Yeah.
then they started trusting me. Because initially, when I joined Cosmo Group, where I was working with Vela professionals, one of the concern I would hear people talking, यार ये इतने आहिस्ते बात करती इतना
हाँ,
सॉफ्ट चलती ये
she's too
पीआर
mellow. हाँ.
ये पीआर कैसे हैंडल करेगी
Right.
but it was one of the challenge I have evolved. If you see me years before, I was a lot softer than that.
Okay.
But it was good. I learned a lot, and it was one of the most challenge for me that made me a little low, demotivated at times, just because of my body language or just because of my I'm soft spoken. It has fired back on me. So at times I have realized you have to rise your tone. So when
Oh,
right
okay.
now I have males in my team, so I'm the boss to them. So I come very loud on them. So they take me seriously at
All
times.
right. Okay.
So that was one of the
So
challenge.
that comes with the territory that these students have to have that extroverted personality, and if they don't, do they have to develop one? Is it that important?
No, I don't think so. But it's gonna happen eventually, and they
Okay.
won't realize it.
Okay.
So I think let everyone have a personalized touch to the marketing.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's very personalized.
And then explore themselves as to
Exactly.
where they land. Um, so I think these are very interesting snippets from the market, because students who generally are introverted, whether and since we are an institution with it's a multidisciplinary name. Now we have law graduates, law students as well, business students also, and personality and personality traits play a huge role
Yes.
when it comes to the industry. And constantly evolving your craft and personality comes with, the experience, I would say. The more years you put in, the more you explore. I think so. This is a very interesting element, because a lot of marketing students come to me and say, Miss, I'm too introverted for this field. Do you think I should switch? Do you think I should move somewhere else? Do you think I'm not meant for it? So that is, I think, going to give them some sort of, a consolation from
Of
your
course.
side. Now, handling multiple skills in your domain. You are looking into marketing. You're building brands. You are excellent in storytelling. You also, I think, are into public press releases. You
Yes.
introduce press releases. Are there any advices and tips that you would like to give these students on how to upscale their game when it comes to public relations per se?
Okay, so when it comes to public relations, I think it's more about maintaining them. So it's just not like you connect to people and hello, hi, you're there, and then you suddenly vanish.
Okay.
So make sure there is sustainability in your relations. They last long. Even after 10 years, you're meeting there, it's still at the same scale. And your
Press
question?
releases.
Yeah.
Press releases.
And when it comes to press releases, I would say in the era of 2025, you have to stay ahead. So make sure you work smart, not work hard. And for that, we have so many softwares. We have artificial intelligence. Even right now, I send out press releases. I always put them across the AI and ask it to regenerate it in different various tones.
Okay.
Some with an informal touch, some with a formal touch,
Okay.
some with a personalized touch.
Right.
So start experimenting with them. So I would say make sure you stay ahead the market with the softwares and implement them so you stand out. Because AI, how do we use AI? Please and make a caption for ABC product.
Right.
That's what the way most of the people carry.
Yeah.
But how shall we use it? You tell AI, who are you? what kind of personality you have, what tone you want to talk about. Is it formal, informal?
Certainly.
What do you want to give it? This should be a to an engagement, or it should give you conversions, or you're looking for impressions, you're looking for clicks. So give the brief to AI and accordingly
So
redraft it.
not be scared of it, but to befriend it. That's what
Of
you're
course.
saying. And you make use of it very,
Yes,
very actively.
not only AI, other platforms as well. So I make sure I stay ahead the market because that's what is required these days.
How do you look at marketing? And that is will be my last question to you. As a leading professional, how do you look at marketing playing its role in combination with other fields, with fields like finance, with fields like human resource? And if we are talking about the new age and a very technologically, revolutionizing stage in our lives, how do you think that what incorporations should we do when it comes to marketing with and ensuring great content comes out of it, original content comes out of it, creativity is intact in a world of technology and AI tools? How do you kind of like, balance these challenges on a day-to-day basis? How do you do that?
See, when it since you said be it HR or other professions, marketing is always wanted. So it's gonna stay there. Be it IT, every brand needs awareness. Every brand needs advertising.
Yes.
So marketing is gonna be there. But to what was your question?
How do you? Should I ask the question again?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so this will be, I think we have touched base on a lot of avenues, and this will be my last question to you, particularly helping the marketing enthusiasts and students understand the importance of evolutionary marketing in a world where technological advancements and things have revolutionized right after COVID very rapidly. How do you look marketing playing its role in combination with different fields? And what will be your final piece of advice given to the young professionals, given to the young graduates and students of business wishing to explore, particularly hospitality or any other sector, as a true marketeer to have a competitive edge in the market?
See, when it comes to HR, when it comes to IT, be it any segment, every segment needs their presence. They need creating brand awareness. So marketing is always gonna be there. But to stay ahead, you have to always make sure you are good in reading your customer. So you have the data that you are looking for, then only you can do the right marketing. If you don't have your hands on the right data at the right time, then you have not got it.
So, should the students be engaged in certain, very specific marketing-centric skill sets? Do you advise them to, kind of like do something beyond just the general academics? Because they're coming to university, they're leaving, right? What should be the leisure time they should be engaged in?
I think the best thing would be they grab a brand as a
Okay.
freelancer and start experimenting with it. That
Right.
would be the best approach.
Right.
That they're gonna evolve, they're gonna understand, and what we study academically and what the set of information that you learn through experimenting, it's very different. And then accordingly they're gonna personalize these strategies, come up with the campaigns, and it all starts within there once you have the right hand information and experiences.
So I think just being present is very important being a marketer. And
It's all about
yes,
presence.
It's just about all about presence and a very, very sharp observation. Thank you so much, Zuha,
You're
for your
welcome,
time.
Adeela.
It has been a very fruitful conversation. I think it just made us delve a little deeper into the evolving landscape of marketing and hospitality. So thank you so much. Wishing you all
welcome.
the very best. Your journey is going to be a great reminder for particularly the marketing aspirants to understand how marketing is strategy, but linking it with authenticity go hand in hand
Of
when it
course.
comes to particularly building brands. So thank you so much once again.
You're welcome,
And
Adeela.
we are definitely going to be collaborating very actively in the future.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that today's conversation was valuable as a business student, as a business professional is looking forward to pave a career pathway in the very dynamic and competitive field of marketing. So, thank you so much. Stay curious, keep learning, and until next time, stay tuned to the Career Talks for another very enriching and engaging episode. Thank you and take care.